What is up, you guys? And thank you so much for stopping by once again on this happy Friday, and welcome back to Arca-Scans, where we go over this week's, or actually the following week's, potential movers directly from my scanner, right? Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called Arca Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we are looking at ticker symbol AVDL on the daily chart here, and I would actually just like to point out that we're getting a pretty nice read, actually, from both the trading view technicals perspective. This is at a buy zone, and the analyst rating at a strong buy. So if we go ahead and take a look at the forecast here, the analyst rating is actually forecasting a potential $26 top on this, and in the lower target of about $13, right? So this is very interesting coming out of this, right? As I usually tend to pay attention to assets when they have both the trading view algorithm on a buy zone and the analyst rating on a buy zone, right? So this is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and review the opportunity here, because there is, I mean, obviously here from looking at the chart, right, in the macro perspective, I know it's on a daily chart, I can already see the areas of inflection, right? So meaning that price action right now sitting at a massive 1426, right? Huge upside over the span of just weeks and weeks, right? So I can already see that the failure of this zone here, it would actually be between 1350 and about 1332. Let's see if we can adjust it just a little bit. Actually, we definitely could. So let's go ahead and just note that down now, because it's already kind of rhyming with the forecast that the analysts are kind of giving, right? So yeah, let's just go ahead and kind of adjust that target down to about, I would say just about, let's see if we can get it tighter. That's about it right there. Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at an inflection support zone of between 1350 and 1320. Okay, failing that 1350 to 1320 with a minimum daily candle closure below that 1320 could be an invalidation of the upside and could result into a further capitulation, and that capitulation support could actually be located right at the space of this tiny gap here formed in November 2014 and the top side of this candle right over here, right? Some confluence sharing with this here. So that would be a range of about 1231 to about 1241, right, upon the failure of this. So that could easily capitulate down. But it is very interesting that the forecast from the analysts are actually giving that bottom side of about $13, and I am also looking at an inflection point of about 1320 to 1350 to be really critical here and absolutely kind of precise, right? So let's actually move some moving averages in here and see if there's anything that we should be paying attention to. Okay, so yeah, we actually have the EMA 20 serving as a support right now. We have resistance from a lot of time frames, but that's entirely okay. And now, actually, if we, wow, okay, so this was back. When did we actually make this cross? Very interesting. Okay, so this was back in September 2022. We actually got a golden cross, which is actually this teal blue one here, and the purple. So that's actually the SMA 50 crossing upside of the daily SMA 200, right? So that is a golden cross right there, and the price action has been respecting that upside pretty nicely. Within that cross was actually a silver cross too, right? I just have to get away from a lot of moving averages so that you can see the EMA 20 over the EMA 50, right? So this is actually still respecting the upsides from both of those very powerful crosses, right? So let's take a look at the shorter term time frame opportunity here. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the 30-minute momentum. Yeah, momentum and volatility. We'll even have the RSI up and see what we have in store for us. Okay, so yeah, usually I want to see some potential downside, right, in the immediate short-term time frame, so that we can see, so that we can see about getting in. Right, so there's already weakness being shown on the 30-minute and the hourly time frames from critical from critical volatility, right? So it is kind of decelerating right now and suggesting a potential weakness and a downside, right? So that's kind of what we want to see first. The RSI on the hourly time frame is also kind of pivoted towards the downside. We still have an upside pivot though on that SMA 14, right? So this could be a very short-term opportunity to kind of consider a long position in our simulator accounts, right, you guys? So just so that we can make sure that we're all safe, we're going to be trading simulators, okay? So let's go ahead and go over the buy hourly time frame, and now notice that on the buy hourly, just like I've explained in a few videos, right, I like to see the immediate short-term time frame downside followed by a corrective upside on the buy hourly and on. So hopefully by the time we get to the 8-hour or 12-hour or daily, we have a downside pivot, of which could be the upper term time frames waiting for the influence from the shorter ones, right? So we want to get that cascading effect. So buy hourly, 4-hour, 6-hour, 8-hour, like downward, right? We're going to eventually correct those upper time frames upon these waves, right? So let's look at the 4-hour now and see what we have. So here's the 4-hour with an upside pivot as well. We have the MACD kind of correcting here as well. We're losing that bear pressure. That's very nice. Okay, let's go to the 6-hour and see what we have. 6-hour time frame already getting that upside pivot as well. We're definitely actually coming out of critical contraction, accelerating that volatility, right? So this is very, very nice. And it looks like we could be facing a little bit of a resistance here on the 6-hour time frame, which could honestly work out alongside the hourly for that resistance touch too, right? So we can actually face some type of resistance, likely to be around that 14, let's see. Around that 1453 to 1459 before a retracement, and then we could actually consider getting long our simulators, right? So now this 8-hour time frame also showing an upside pivot with accelerating volatility as well. Very, very nice coming with the moves here, you guys. Okay, so now let's look at those targets, right? Let's look at what the ranges can be for us, right? So let's get rid of the RSI now, since we know what we're looking for, right? So actually, you know what? Very, very curious thing here is that you can clearly see that we're in a downtrend, right? This is a downtrend here, and also please notice that the volume profile is on a downtrend as well. Okay, so usually when we get that downtrend on volume, when we get that downtrend wow, come on guys, come on, what's going on? We get that downtrend on volume, when we get that downtrend in price, usually this indicates weakness to the bears, and there could be a potential reloading for a continuation to the upside, right? So let's just go ahead and make sure that we can keep that kind of in our minds before we make any rash decisions, right? So let's make sure that we make educated decisions, and also that we have a plan before any type of decisions being made, right, you guys? So let's go ahead and now jump into the 15-minute time frame to see what we have. I want to see some potential downside, right? And you can clearly see that the downside is being faced on that stochastic. We have a little bit of resistance here on the 15-minute RSI SMA 14, right? So we can face that resistance potentially to the top side of about 1450. We'll then retrace back, right? So then this is going to be where it's a little tricky, right? So because there could be some support zones that we can look at before the one that we're currently in, right? So this zone right here could easily be one, right? So let's go ahead and just take a look to see if we have anything around that area. Yes, we do. Of course we did. I was literally just pointing at this right here. So it would be the reversion of to the area of 1396 to 1350. Okay, you guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking about. 1350 is already noted here. So let me make a little bit of a tighter area for us, right? So 1396, and then this would be actually, let me zoom just a little bit more to see if I have, there we go, the top side of this candle right there, right? So we'll just go ahead and note there the 1382. So 1397 or 1396, right, to the reversion variant mean to about 1382 could be one of the zones for our simulator accounts to get long, right? So very, very good deal there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of the reversion variant and look at the potential top sides, right? So for that, let me see if we can, I'm not sure if we're going to trade this on the 30 or the hourly just yet, but it looks like we may actually consider that hourly too, right? So Man, it's interesting that the hourly reversion variant is definitely being used as a form of support on and on and on, right? So, okay, awesome. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and now take a look at those potential top side targets. Okay, so if we're going to be considering maybe the 30-minute time frame, then we have a resistance level located at the top side of our the Bollinger Bands, right? The reversion variant Bollinger Bands. So we have that 1490. Let's see. 1497. Okay, so that naturally turns into a range because it's not just that to consider, right? So 1497 to about, let's see, what could be the top side here? It could be located right at the top side of that candle right there, right? So that could be 1497 to 1509, right? So now let's just start to see our gains, right? So if we were to consider some type of position there, then that would be a 7% move to the bottom side and 8% move to the top side of that, right? So that would be directly from the mean. If we were to extend it just a little bit, all the way top side, that becomes a 9% move, and entering on the discretionary targets that we were talking about, 11, almost 12%, and the bottom side of this would turn into a 14% scalp. So that's what I mean, you guys. There could be very short-term opportunities here to kind of hedge against our long-term hold positions, right? And make sure that we can actually gain some capital. But of course, we're practicing here. We're making sure that we can trade those simulator accounts, those paper trading accounts, right, you guys? That is honestly something that I am doing here, especially within the trading view panel, right? So here's the paper trading. We can actually just press connect, and from this area here, you're able to see that I have done several trades, right? So with the simulator, I practice often, you guys. So this is definitely something that you want to do. Clicking this button right over here would actually take you to your order area, right? And this would be your order book right over here. Okay, you guys. So just know to practice your risk management. Okay, practice your skills. Okay, don't just dive into this and expect to be a winner on this, because this is designed to make us lose. Okay, so there could be some pretty nice opportunities here, you guys. If we're looking at some upper term targets, then let's go ahead and just look at some fibs real quick and continue on the analysis, right? So we're going to take it from, let's see. Yeah, we can take it from the current high, right, all the way to the range low, which could be right about down here to that candle there, right? And of course, that 1580 would be the top side of our range, right? So that's rhyming with the one spot 618 perfectly at 1568. So that's another range that we can actually take a look at, right? So just like this. So from the one spot 618, 1568 to the top side of the range, which is about 1581 or 1580, right? That could be the secondary area, right? So it starts to turn more of a swing play at these zones, right? So that would be 18%, almost 19% gainer, and into the top side about almost 20%. So very, very attractive moves here. And as you can see here, our discretionary targets it's perfectly lined up with the one spot 272. So we're looking very nice. And notice, you guys, that the areas of the entries, right, they're actually located very much near the golden mean of the 0618, right? And also, which now actually I probably would actually favor that, right? Sometimes it's not the best thing to actually favor directly to the penny. Sometimes you actually want to buy just a little bit above it, but oftentimes we tend to meet the targets pretty well, right? So in this case, let me just actually leave it like that. Consider the 0618 as well. And also the space between the 0618 and the 382 Fibonacci ratio 1332 is the golden pocket. So very likely for us to even try reaching somewhere in this area, even the 0.5 fib, and then getting a nice bounce to the upside, right? So this is this is probably something that we should consider for our simulator accounts. Okay, you guys. So with that said, I'm not actually sure that there is trading on Monday. I'm not sure if I saw someone talking about the there potentially being a holiday or something. I'm not sure, but I wish you well. Actually, guys, please remember that I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do, show, and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Okay, I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good weekend, and I'll catch you at the bell on either Monday or Tuesday. Okay, you guys, adios.